Let's see if recording straight to YouTube is a better option as opposed to loading, like recording on my phone and then uploading. So this will be just kind of a test drive video, I guess. But um, so this is going to be the follow up to the last video that I made about my three pitches to DC Comics. So this will be my three pitches to Marvel Comics and what we can do to make it a better company, or just get some better comic books here. So, all right. So my three pitches. I'm going to start off with number one. My first one. I'm going to say I want to return Silver Surfer to form. Really, I want to return Silver Surfer to form. Sorry, my car is a mess. Kind of live out of this thing. So, yeah, I want to return Silver Surfer to form, bringing him back to his 80s, 90s kind of status, where he's a space explorer and a philosopher, and really just kind of like examining different cultures, different societies, things like that. Very heavy space exploration. My second pitch idea would be a revival of Sleepwalker. I would love to see Sleepwalker come back, personally. For this book, I would have to have like two very top-notch artists, particularly a really top-notch surrealist artist, because I would want to, for this book, I would really want to bring in or bring up the aspect of like the dream realms and different things like that, and going into the psyche. So this would be almost like in tone, it'd be similar, or like at least landscape similar to the Doctor Strange run from like the 70s and the 80s, where he really goes into those topsy-turvy worlds. That would, like, to me, that'd be really, really cool. And then, obviously he would come out, he could, be on the material plane, and he fights criminals and stops crimes and whatever. But he would also be fighting, he would be fighting Nightmare. He'd fight Nightmare. He'd fight other dream aspect monsters and dream beings in his in throughout the book. But my final pitch is a Ghost Rider series that's Marvel Knight or Marvel Max level of a Ghost Rider story. And this to me is how Ghost Rider should be, where he's basically the supernatural version of the Punisher, where he's going out there and he's finding criminals and killers, sinners, whatever, and he's out there just like murdering them. So the first arc that I would do is this roving group of like a family anarchist killers. They're serial killers and stuff. Probably not much unlike Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects. These folks they're going around and they kill people by drawing bumper stickers out of a hat. And they go and they kill people. Like the next vehicle, the first vehicle they find with that bumper sticker, they'll go and they'll stalk this whoever it is. They'll stalk them down and then they kill them. Once they kill them, they post it up on the wall inside of their RV, or they take or they'll kidnap them and take them back to their home. So the story will follow Danny Ketch as the Ghost Rider, and the way that this will be written is Danny Ketch, unlike all the other ones who they really contend with the spirit of vengeance, Danny Ketch is actually starting to embrace it. He's really starting to embrace Zarathos, and so but he's haunted by the spirits of the dead. So like as he's driving by, he'll see them pop up, and well, this story will feature this one particular family, a husband, wife, and daughter, and as he's driving, their spirits will show up in front of him, like it'll be the father who shows up, and then it'll be the mother who shows up, and eventually the daughter will show up, and it's like Danny can't take it anymore, so he goes after them, and he just murders the fuck out of these people, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking straight up, like, chainsaw with his hellfire chains, just like chainsaws one of them in half, vomits hellfire right into it, like one of their mouths, and just incinerates them that way. Like really brutal, just, real brutal deaths. Like, this is like, to me, this is what Ghost Rider should be. And this is, and which is like kind of a take on, just really pushing more of the take from the 90s. What was it? Doug Moench, who did that one? Moench, whoever. I think he was one of the people who did it from the 90s. I think he was one of the artists. Like Spirits of Vengeance and stuff like that kind of run, just really hitting the accelerator on that run, and not only that, but just like bringing back some of the more demons and things like that for him to fight. But that would be, to me, that would be like a really, really awesome comic book. Just real grit, dark metal, heavy action, horror, supernatural kind of story take, which actually, if anything, once, maybe once I get a more steady schedule and I start writing, I might just write this as my own story. I might just make my own hero and write this story and sell it. I mean, instead of just pitching it to Marvel as a Ghost Rider story, how about I could just write it myself, and I'll just make my own hero. Because that's Spirits of Vengeance characters, like Spectre, Ghost Rider, like, not really Spawn. Spawn's not really a Spirit of Vengeance. But these kinds of characters, these are some of my favorite kind of characters. Like, I really, really like that aspect of them. But, all right, so what would be your 3 pitches to Marvel? And what do you think about mine? Do you guys like my pitches? Would any of you be... I mean, if I were to make my own heroes, would those be stories you'd be interested in reading? Particularly the Ghost Rider one. But what are your 3 pitches? If you could write for Marvel, what would be your 3? And again, what do you think of mine? I know I just asked all that like 3 times in a row, but hopefully I'll get some comments down below. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you everybody later.